Pentagon now says that no U.S. troops or officials would face disciplinary action for a drone strike in Kabul that killed 10 Afghan civilians, including 7 children. The Pentagon acknowledged in September that the last U.S. drone strike before American troops withdrew from Afghanistan was a tragic mistake after initially saying that it had been necessary to prevent an Islamic State attack on the troops. The drone strike was launched 3 days after a deadly suicide bombing outside Kabul airport that killed 13 U.S. military personnel and nearly 170 Afghan civilians. President Joe Biden signed an executive order aimed at rebuilding the public's trust in government by making it easier to do things like renew passports, apply for social security benefits, and get aid after natural disasters. The idea here is to put the public and the customer service at the center of federal operations, saving time, energy, and money by offering better and more efficient services for the millions of routine interactions people have with the government. Speaking in the Oval Office shortly before signing the order, Biden said it will ensure that the federal government puts you, the American people, at the front of the line. Tunisian President Kais Saied has prolonged the suspension of parliament and has announced a national referendum almost 5 months after dismissing his government and granting himself sweeping powers. The announcement, he said, was an answer to many Tunisians' demands for political change. In a televised speech on Monday, Saied unveiled his plans to organize a nationwide popular consultation that will be held both online and offline from January to March 2022. This consultation will then be reviewed by a committee and will form the basis for a national referendum that will take place next year. Bulgaria's parliament has now formally approved the country's new centrist-led government in a bid to restore stability, tackle the coronavirus crisis and spur economic development in the country. Lawmakers voted 134 for 104 to elect 41-year-old Kirin Petkov as the country's new prime minister. Petkov, a Harvard-educated entrepreneur who served as Minister of Economics in the previous caretaker cabinet, announced that transparency in public spending, zero tolerance for corruption and reforms in the judiciary will be the keystones of his government program. Tens of thousands of people rallied in Khartoum seeking to sustain pressure on military leaders who staged a coup in October but later reinstated Prime Minister Abdallah Hamdok following mass protests. Security forces fired tear gas to disperse the protesters from the capital's main roads. Thousands marched from the capital Khartoum's twin city of Bari over the Nile towards Omdurman, waving national flags, chanting slogans against the military. Security forces had previously kept the bridge between Bari and Omdurman closed during the protests. Mine workers took to the streets of Lima to call on the government to resolve the conflicts that have paralyzed operations in Las Bambas copper mine and through its subsidiary MMG Limited, the Chinese state-owned giant Minmetals has warned that it would suspend production this week due to the conflict with the neighboring communities that allege contamination of their crops. Because of the blockades, over 9,000 employees will be fired. Meanwhile, French President Emmanuel Macron and Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban dropped their usual combative rhetoric and called each other partners at a summit in Budapest on Monday. The conciliatory tone of the two leaders' public statements is in stark contrast with the verbal venom which they have attacked each other with in the past. Now, Macron nonetheless used the trip to Budapest to send subtle messages of support to Orban's opponents. Orban has in the past 2 months received far-right leaders Marine Le Pen and Eric Zemmour, who are candidates in France's presidential election next year, in which Macron is expected to seek a second term. A French court fined Swiss bank UBS $2 billion for its role in helping French residents commit tax fraud. The revised penalty is less than half an overall fine of 4.5 billion euros imposed against the bank after a first trial in 2019. France's biggest ever tax evasion penalty. Shares in UBS rose for more than 2% after the verdict. The bank has said that it would decide quickly on whether to lodge an appeal against the ruling with France's Supreme Court. Former Danish Immigration Minister Inger Støjberg, known for her hardline stance, has been handed a 60-day prison sentence by an impeachment court for having illegally ordered the separation of underage couples seeking asylum. Støjberg was accused of knowingly breaking the law in 2016 by ordering the separation of all asylum-seeking refugee couples where at least one was under 18 years of age, a violation of the European Convention on Human Rights. Under Danish and human rights law, couples must be assessed individually, implying that the minister's order to separate all underage couples was illegal. A total of 23 couples were separated. Tesla's chief executive officer, Elon Musk, has been named Time magazine's 2021 Person of the Year. Musk is the founder and CEO of the rocket company SpaceX and leads brain chip startup Neuralink and infrastructure firm The Boring Company. In October, his electric car company's valuation soared above $1 trillion, and throughout the year, his company SpaceX has teamed up with U.S. space agency NASA to launch various missions, including smashing a rocket into an asteroid in a test run for redirecting any future Earth-bound space rocks.
Was hier tun, inspirieren. Yes.
New York has brought in its new mask mandate, which requires all individuals to wear face coverings inside all indoor public places. The new measure, which was introduced last week, brings added layers of mitigation during the holiday season. The mandate comes as state officials reported a 43% increase in the statewide 7-day average case rate since Thanksgiving. The COVID-related hospitalizations increasing by 29%. The mandate also comes after New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio issued what he called a preemptive strike, mandating that all private sector employees in the Big Apple be vaccinated against COVID-19 amid the new threat posed by the Omicron variant. UK has now recorded one death linked to the Omicron variant. This came as the country began an ambitious booster program against the new strain. Prime Minister Boris Johnson has warned of a looming tidal wave of infections from the mutation. Britain, one of the worst-hit countries with 146,000 COVID deaths since last year, has sounded the alarm because of rising rates of Omicron transmissions in the country. The UK Health Security Agency has said that there are nearly 5,000 Omicron cases in the country. Russian authorities have backed away from introducing coronavirus restrictions for the unvaccinated, which had elicited public outrage all across the country. The Speaker of the State Duma announced the withdrawal of a bill restricting access to domestic and international flights and trains to those who have been fully vaccinated against COVID-19 or have recently recovered from the virus or are medically exempt from vaccination. Less than 50% of Russia's 146 million population has been fully vaccinated so far, even though Russia was among the first in the world to approve and roll out a coronavirus vaccine. Authorities in Spain's La Palma have lifted a stay-at-home order just a few hours after telling people to stay indoors due to poor air quality caused by the eruption of the Cumbavia volcano. The eruption, which has sent rivers of molten lava running down the slopes of Cumbavia for nearly 3 months, is the longest running on the Spanish Canary Islands since records began. Over 24,000 residents of the region were asked to stay indoors due to the emissions of sulfur dioxide that reached extremely adverse levels. However, a few hours later, emergency services lifted the order thanks to an improvement in the air quality data. A major storm hitting Northern California with rain and snow intensified on Monday and brought travel headaches for the residents here. Light rain, snow that began falling on Sunday got heavier overnight. The storm is now expected to dump more than 8 feet of snow on the highest peaks of California and Nevada and drench other parts of the states. The storm is expected to bring much needed moisture to the broader region that's been gripped by a drought caused by climate change. The latest U.S. drought monitor shows parts of Montana, Oregon, California, Nevada and Utah are classified as being in exceptional drought, which is the worst category. The death toll in Kentucky from a string of tornadoes that tore through 6 states rose to 74, with at least 109 people still missing. Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear has said that he expects the numbers to increase as searchers sift through a flattened landscape of twisted metal, downed trees, homes reduced to rubble. The tornadoes tore through a 200-mile path through the U.S. Midwest and South overnight on Friday, demolishing homes and leveling businesses, saying the disaster was likely one of the largest tornado outbreaks in the U.S. history. President Joe Biden on Saturday approved an emergency declaration for Kentucky to help revive from the calamity.